Machino. Is that what we're talking about?
No.
Oh dear, Andy.
Just have to drop the top boy in. Up the top boy.
Nice. How's it all going?
All good, baby. All good. I've sorted all the little bits and bobs I needed to do now. So hopefully after tomorrow, I can enjoy myself in Tenerife. What's going on with you? How's your night off going?
Yeah. Not bad night off. Had a little bit of some things to organise. Was just on a phone-in show on the West Ham Way, chatting to them about a few things. And then got to do some packing tomorrow because I'm off again to Germany, the Germans. I'm going to go do a show in Hamburg. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 shows in Hamburg. So I'm leaving on Wednesday, the day before you go back. So I've only really got tomorrow to catch up with you. So Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing shows. No, I lie. Wednesday I fly in. Thursday, Friday I do shows. Saturday I fly home. Off the plane, straight to Calypso. Do Saturday club, having travelled early morning, and then pass out Saturday evening after some food, I reckon. Bit of grub.
Well, I mean, I know it's a lot for you to do, but going on to the topic of today, I don't think you're going to spit your dummy out here. You're not going to go mad and kick off about this here.
No, I won't write letters to anyone or anything. Well, I'll just man up about it.
I mean, this is what we're talking about. I mean, the whole Real Madrid situation. Now, you have an idea of it, but you don't know what the situation is, right? So
I know nothing about it. You said to me, should we do a thing about the Real Madrid situation? I said, I don't know a lot about it. The only thing I knew is I remember they had a gripe about Vinicius Jr. not winning the Ballon d'Or when Rodri got it and then picked up an injury for the rest of the season. I knew that there was talk of a boycott for that. I don't know anything else. And you said, well, I won't explain. We'll go live and then you'll talk to me about it then. So
let me tell you the situation. Right, the situation. Right. The Ballon d'Or one. So none of the Real Madrid squad or representatives went to the Ballon d'Or because Vinny Jr. didn't win it. Right? Bear in mind, this is voted for by players. And that Carlo Ancelotti didn't win Manager of the Year. Right? So Pep won it. Did Pep win it? I'm sure Pep won it. And Rodri won the Player of the Year. Completely justified, in my opinion, for each. But you can have arguments for Ancelotti. You can have arguments for Vinny. But just because you lost, you don't boycott it like that. That's childish. It's pathetic. It's babyish. Yeah. Then the next one that they've got is this letter they've sent to La Liga and the referees associating, saying that they're being bullied and they're being picked on. They're not getting fair treatment because certain decisions are going against you. Mate, unfortunately, that's what happens in football. Without VAR, you could have got more or less. It's absolute bullshit. One of the things that I did also find out, since the whole of the Champions League had happened, if VAR had been in the whole of Champions League from start to finish, Real Madrid would not have 16 titles, they'd only have 8. AC Milan would be on 10.
Because of decisions that were dodgy that went Real Madrid's way.
Yeah.
But now when it evens itself out and comes around the other way, they're throwing their toys out of Prem.
Basically, yeah. So that's basically like what would happen. AC Milan, really, Champions League-wise, have lost that the most. But Real Madrid have gained the most. So you know what? It happens in football. Grow the fuck up. And then the last one that they've done, there's talk of them withdrawing from La Liga and joining either Serie A or the Bundesliga to play their league games in. From that, thoughts. Start wherever you want.
Well, first of all, have they got any grounds, do you think? I mean, when you look at the decisions, can you see that they've got a shout for unfair treatment, or is it the same swings and roundabouts that everybody gets?
Exactly the same as swings and roundabouts. So
there's nothing dodgy that stands out?
No, not really. I mean, you could look at it the other way. So they had a game against, I think it was, I want to say Vallecano, or it might have been Girona, where they were 2-0 down, and the referee did a dodgy penalty, and then a goal which VAR didn't give for offside because it was looking at the wrong man. In another game. And so it's one of those things where it is no more biased than the penalty that Everton should have had last week, the Luis Diaz scoring against Spurs that cost Liverpool a draw. It's no different to anything like that, or certain tackles where you think, oh, that should be looked at as a red. Nothing where you think, oh, that's. I mean, to be honest, it is nowhere near as bad as what Wolves had last year. Remember Wolves where they just kept getting decision after decision. The Onana coming out and clattering the player. Like, the decision. Like, nothing, nowhere near as bad as Wolves. So, in regards to that, not at all. As the top footballers in world football now, no, you shouldn't be grappling about that. You should literally go, you know what, fuck it then. We'll play against you and the ref.
How has that been received, that letter to the authorities?
So there was an issue where I think it was where Barcelona destroyed Real Madrid 4-1. The ball for the first goal supposedly got out of play. And then when Real Madrid have put this letter in, Barcelona have put on their Instagram a picture of the ball and put the main culprit. So teams in La Liga, I see them as just whinging. Just, dare I say, as babies.
So trying to give a bit of balance here. Was the ball out of play?
No.
I can't. So where do they sit in the league at the moment? I don't really follow the Liga. I'll have a little look at the results, whatever.
I'll tell you now. I'm pretty sure last time I looked, they were top, but then they did draw last week against Osasuna when Bellingham was sent off for telling the ref. Well, depends what you say. Telling the ref to fuck you or sod you or fuck off or fuck you. Like he's basically saying, he said sod off, as in like not directed at him, like talking to himself. But the referee has said, you said sod you, as in directed at him.
In English or Spanish?
Apparently English, because I don't know if you know this, but any UEFA referee has to speak English.
Even in La Liga, officiating in the League or just Champions League?
Like any Europe, if you want to get to a high level, you have to be able to communicate in English.
So a bit like international like aviation society as well. Like people in aeroplanes, like pilots, have to speak to air traffic control in English.
Yeah.
No matter if it's going from like China to Malaysia or whatever.
Yeah,
same sort of thing. Yeah. So what was the other Bellingham thing as well? There was something about victimization of Bellingham.
No, not with regards to victimization with Bellingham. It was Vinny Jr. Really. There's obviously the racism stuff where he doesn't feel like he's been like the referees not took a stand as strong as they should do. And to be fair to him, there's certain parts of it. I mean, there's no. I don't see any place for the racism. Just because he's got darker skin, don't mean you could use that as an excuse to pick on him. But then there's also the point where even some of the players he's playing against are mocking him. Like for the interview he did where he was in tears saying about like I'm here to play football. Why is it? He had an issue with my skin color, and some of the players when they fouled him, he's giving it the crying face to him and taking the mick. So that is more towards Vinny Jr. than it is towards Bellingham.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got an actual image that an insider gave you from the training ground, haven't you? You're going to put up.
Right, so we can't share this the source of this because apparently this is on his camera phone. I don't know what you think.
Right. So as you can see, that's Bellingham and Mbappe and Vinny Jr. just sitting there having soft play time in training. And to be honest, they don't look happy. I would have to ask, just looking at this image here, had they had nap times? Had they had their dum-dums on bot-bots? Or
as far as I know, no nap times, no apple juice, no milk.
Right.
The blankets were not brought.
No. They weren't allowed to suck their thumb either, were they, for comfort?
I'm glad you finished the fun bit at the end.
Do you know what? That is a cracking picture, and that's going to be our thumbnail. But you can blatantly tell who that is and all, can't you?
Oh, that is absolute class, that.
Yeah.
Big up to the league.
Bellingham should be happy. I saw a picture on Instagram. He had some little salt sitting up there with him. Some bird, I think it's a singer or something. I don't know who she was. But something about, there was a picture. So going by the picture, I don't know who she was. I don't know if she was famous. She's a pretty girl. She was Ashleen Castro or somebody. It's like quite a few, but she was sitting there. But even she, to be honest, before I knew about this story, it's even funnier because even she had a face on in the picture I saw. She was set up in the director's box watching him play football, and even she had a face like a fucking burglar's dog. So I don't even know what's gone on there, but that is a cracking picture. That is a superb picture.
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you where they are in the league. So at the minute, Barca and Real Madrid are tied on 54 points. Atletico Madrid are on 53. So
essentially, they're still. So I think they're basically they've got like the victim syndrome.
Yeah.
But I can understand what you said about you wasn't sure about who won Manager of the Year for the Ballon d'Or. But if it was Pep, that hasn't aged well. Not with how they've been performing and the little mental breakdown he had and some of the Man City results. Real Madrid have now knocked Man City out of Champions League.
It's 12 months to 12 months. It's not a season. Yeah. It's January.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But even so, like, I think his stock's dropped a little bit, don't you? In hindsight.
Yeah. See, I had this conversation the other day with someone where it was more big out to Mike Jamer, who's going to come on the podcast and talk us through a few little bits. And Matty Carroll, he's been threatening to come on, Matty Carroll. I'm waiting for him to come and tell us.
Come on, Matty.
Yeah. I was winding Jamie up. So Jamie's your typical mank. I was winding up saying he's from Stockport, but really he's not. He's from Manchester. And I was saying to him, well, this just proved Pep's a checkbook manager. And he went, no, Fraser, you can't say that. You can't say that. Oh, look what he's done with Barca. One of the greatest footballers of all time, and one of the greatest footballers of all time, and then one of the greatest African footballers of all time, two of the greatest midfielders of all time. Yeah, I'd expect him to do bits with them. So, right? Yeah, but look at what he did at Bayern. What, no Champions League? You won the domestic league, as you should, as any manager managing Bayern Munich.
Yeah, unless you sign Harry Kane.
Obviously, well, that's rule one, lesson learned. Yeah, but Fraser, look what he's done in England. He's transformed us. Well, he's not really, is it? You paid 54 million for De Bruyne. Yeah, but he was already there. So you still had to buy him. So he's still 54 million for De Bruyne. Still set like 60 odd million for Aguero. Still 20 odd million or 50 million for Vincent Kompany. You still pay good money for these players. Yeah, don't get me wrong. What Pep's done, he is up there with the greatest managers of all time. But this is his first real test where he's got to build something. And even then, to me, it's always going to be tarnished because of the charges. And because you've literally just gone and spent 200 million in a winter transfer window when everyone's brassic. So, and you spend them on players where, they're for the future and they look good. I mean, Marmoush, obviously Marmoush played a few times in Germany. Like, what a player! What a player he will be.
So he looks like the next Salah. Not identical, but he looks like he could be the next Salah coming through.
We looked at him as a replacement for Salah last year, right? We were looking at Marmoush, but the thing is, like, this is what it goes by. Man City, right, have had for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, say since Pep's been there, top 2 players, probably top 10 in the world in every position. And I'll probably maybe push that as top 5, top 6 players in every position, even if you go by the youth players. But to me, that says it all again. If you can afford to sell players like Palmer, McAtee, all these players from the youth team that have not getting chances and you're selling them, but you can't trust them to play, what's the point of having a youth team? Unless if you're just doing that to then get the money back for financial fair play, that sort of defeats the object. This is why players, when they said, oh, if Palmer would have stayed, imagine, like, is Palmer a mistake from Pep to let go? No, because he was never going to play. Even now, with the issues they've had, I still don't think he would have been playing Palmer.
No, and this was the thing. It's an aging team. It's an aging City team that needs a freshen up. You'd think with all those players in the academy, you think they would have more options to be able to come in and bring an injection of youth and energy, especially into that midfield. The midfield, especially when Rodri had been out long term, that midfield is getting older. Do you know what I mean? Surely you would have thought they'd have had some 2 or 3 options to come in and freshen up with a bit of youth and exuberance. players like Palmer were never going to get a chance. Players like the defender, the under-21s captain, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. He had a cracking season at Burnley, playing under company. Southampton now, he hasn't been so good at Southampton, but I think sometimes his styles of play, can affect the performance in a player. It makes you wonder what's going on when you look back at some of the signings that you've just listed there and how they've spent money. And I remember the first marquee one when they came into the money was Robinho, wasn't it? But I think you're seriously underappreciating Steve Sidwell. Yeah, so bit of a crime, mate.
I didn't want to be the one to say it. Like I don't want to be the guy that's rocking the boat on Big Sidders. Big Sidders did his job. I mean, he ain't no Ben Thatcher. I'll give him that one.
No, probably not. He's no Stuart Nethercott. He's no.
Is anyone? Is anybody?
No one is. He's no Jonathan Caleri, is he?
Oh, mate, the thing is, what you're going to look at though, is he a Richard Edghill?
Richard Edghill. Do you know when you say Edghill? I think of Hugo Ekiog when you say that.
Hugo Ekiog, bloody hell, rest his soul. What a player.
So coming back to the Real Madrid thing, they're having a moan. They think it's all against them. They're top or joint top of La Liga. They're in what stage are we on with the Champions League? Quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Just knocked out Man City, aren't they?
Yep.
Just knocked out Man City, so they're in the quarterfinals. What about the cup? How are they in the cup?
The Copa del Rey
Cup. Yeah.
I'm guessing they'd be in it because usually the only team. Yeah, the only teams. Well, they're sponsored by the King, aren't they? So.
Yeah. They are. Yeah.
Real Madrid. Copa del Rey. They have. Oh, it's tomorrow. They have Real Sociedad.
And what round is it?
Semi-final, first leg.
So what are they really moaning about here?
Well, this is it. So you look at it, it's like realistically, they haven't got a lot to moan about. So is what they're saying true? Or is it just a bit competitive for them and they're not liking it? Are they being forced to push players and push every game? Because they went to, I just looked then, the Copa del Rey, they went through against Lagunes 3-2. Right, so that's not a walkover. Madrid, if Pep hadn't have been experimental and tried this, we're going to do it this way, and bar a mistake from Edison, Man City could have won the first leg 2-1 and gone to the Bernabeu and gone for a draw. I mean, if and buts don't make nothing, but so it's not all as rosy as you think it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were 9 points clear in La Liga a couple of months ago. So they were flying.
But then devil's avocado, context is important. You don't know what sort of team they put out in the last round of the cup. Yeah, devil's avocado. You don't know how weak or strong they went in that cup game. And maybe sometimes context is important. They might have been 3-1 up and then took a load of players off and eased off the gas. Yeah, let's have a little listen to who was involved in that.
Well, they went 2-0 up by the 25th minute, and then they were 2-2 and won the game by a 93rd minute winner. And the team was Adrian Lunin, the young goalkeeper, who's really, really good. The Ukrainian.
Very good, yeah. Ukrainian, yeah.
Ferland Mendes, Valverde at fullback, Asensio, who played against Man City, and Ramon in centre-back, Luka Modric, Tchouameni, Brahim Diaz, Rodrigo, Arda Güler, and Endrick up top.
Guli's the sort of number 10 young lad, isn't he?
Yeah, the Turkish guy. But then Vini Jr. came off the bench. Garcia came off the bench. Lucas Vazquez came off the bench. And the two Garcias come off the bench. And Dani Ceballos. So you brought on... There was no Bellingham in the squad. But that's still a strong team with Rodrigo, Endrick, and Güler. Endrick's what? 60 million? Rodrigo's 40 million.
What's his name? Camavinga. No,
Camavinga.
No.
But Tchouameni played.
Yeah,
and Luka Modric and Valverde. So there's
that's
players
strong
there.
enough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's players there. So maybe this is what it is. Maybe this, when you say contacts, maybe they're struggling through games. I mean, that game, he had 20 shots with 12 on target.
So did anything go against them? Like, were there any penalties against them in that game?
There was a penalty, yeah. There was a penalty.
Yeah, see, again, context, you don't know. Like, without looking at it, you don't know whether that was contentious or stonewall. I mean, you'd have to look into this further. Yeah, you won't be able, I don't know if you'd be able to play it on here, but maybe you could have a look, or if you could see a replay of it, and then you tell me if it's blatant or if it's... Because what if now you look at this and there's a penalty given against them, and then sometimes you get refs where you feel like all the decisions are going against you and they're going for the way of the other team. What if now this is a blatant, for example, right? You look at this and it's a blatant dive and it's no way a penalty for you and the ref points straight to the spot. Like, would that make you look a little closer at these claims?
No, because it happens.
No.
What's rule one? Is right, if you are getting the decisions against you, how is moaning about the referee going to help?
No, I agree with that, but I suppose it gets to the point where, okay, an isolated incident may help, but what if we look at the last 5 games? In the last 5 games, there's been 3 penalties that are dodgy, and they've had 3 goals chalked off for dodgy decisions, like a foul in the lead up to the play that wasn't really a foul, or like, what if you actually look at it closer? See, this is sort of episode where I don't know anything about a case. I'm just trying to give a balanced view. This is where you need someone like Diego on here, telling us what's going on as a Real Madrid fan, because he would, and that's what maybe what we'll do as a follow up to this. So now you've made me aware of the circumstances. Maybe we'll try and get Diego on. I want him to do his Real Madrid 1 to 11 because he's going to challenge Liverpool 1 to 11. Shaggy wants to come on, who's also a Newcastle fan. But what he wants to do is he wants to take on Greg's Newcastle 11. He tells me he's going to beat them, then he's going to take on a champion. So he's going to have a semi-final, first of all, against Greg's Toon team, and then the ultimate Toon team will go like into challenge the champion. So shots fired between the Newcastle fans as well. I mean, and then we'll have a follow up. We'll have Diego's opinion on this, and he may say they're sour grapes and he doesn't agree with it, or he may be able to tell us. Like the West Ham thing, when everyone says, what are West Ham complaining about? What are they moaning about? I could do another episode on when people don't understand Moyes, why we got rid of Moyes and we wanted to get rid of Moyes. Everyone just thinks it's, oh, you want some fancy style of play. Let me draw your attention to the backs to the wall defensive display against Arsenal that everyone celebrated. Nobody wanted fancy champagne football on the floor against Dennis horses for courses. I don't want to see that style against Leicester on Thursday. But there's a time and a place. Whereas Moyes would have been backs to the wall and shitting his pants against Arsenal, and then he would have gone away to Burnley and he'd have done the same. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he doesn't change. So we'll get Diego on. We can discuss from a Real Madrid fan's point of view about this, and then we'll get his 1 to 11. So in the meantime, tell me about this penalty.
It looks legit. It looks like the young defender's got his arms stretched out. It's a penalty. By the look of it, it's a pen. No arguments, no issues. It's a pen.
So is there a way to look up while we're recording what their complaints are, and are there any incidents that we can have a look at review while we're talking about it?
The letter has been printed, but I think the best way to do that is get the incidents that they've put on the letter, and when we get Diego on, go through it with Diego so we can get our view and a Real Madrid fan's view to say, right, yeah, but the reason why, because we might say, well, that looks 50-50, that can go either way, but he might go, yeah, but against us, it went this time and this time and this time. So, yeah, I think that would be a good little thing where we can do, and we'll get Diego on, or if any other impartials, maybe we could get a referee on to give us, maybe we could speak to our mate Dan Ball. Yeah, that's a shout. We've got a couple of refs that we're going to try and get on. One has been a ref for 12 years in the sort of Liverpool area, so grassroots football all the way up. So I'm interested in talking to him. You got Dan Ball to try and get on. We've also got a football agent that I want to get on and pick his brains, because I know you'll have some questions about that. That'd be good. We'll also see if we can get a little backhander out of him. And before we finish, I don't really follow overseas football much, other than the sort of main things. If there's topics of interest,
want to give a little Mulberry experiment to you. I want you to try and think of 3 Real Madrid, what you would consider flops that didn't work out at Real Madrid. Yeah.
Okay.
And then out of those 3, I want you to give me a player, an ultimate player, a Mulberry experiment. So what we do with the Mulberry experiment? Have you got the mad professor graphic there? Well, you're a mad professor.
Right.
You're mad professor. You're in your laboratory. You're going to take the attributes of 3 Real Madrid flops, in your opinion, to create a Real Madrid, let's say, legend, someone that would have got in that Real Madrid team and done bits. So I'll allow you to pick the position that your finished article, your Mulberry experiment fusion player is going to play in, and then you may take 3 flops from any position to try to build me a Real Madrid player that would have had what it takes to play for the Galacticos. What you got?
Right. 3 Real Madrid players to get in the Galactico team that class as flops to make. Right. Okay. So I'd go with. It's dubious. Would you class Michael Owen as a flop at Madrid? Top goal scorer in his first year, but only lasted a year.
No, I think he was one that burnt bright and didn't last long, and the injuries, when his pace went, he was never the same. So,
but when I said that to off, I just need to concentrate more.
I was thinking when I said it about flops, where would you consider Beckham? Because they didn't win as much and they lost a lot of games in his first year, and then they switched him into centre midfield. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not sure how much of it commercially he was a success. Massive superstar, made a fortune selling Beckham shirts, but they also had a bit of a rough time with it. So where would you consider Beckham?
I don't think that's Beckham's fault. To me, that's all down to Capello when he was manager. Capello wanted to play
I agree, but black and white, was he a flop or a success?
Success.
Yeah.
The fact that, and this is where I look at it, you got into that Real Madrid team consisting of those players consistently. He had 6 months where Capello wanted to get rid of him. He said, no, I'm staying. I'll fight for my place. Then agreed to transfer to go to LA Galaxy, and then Capello brought him back because of how he was training, and then he won the league in his last year. I'm sure he won the league in his last year, didn't he? That was his first.
Oh yeah,
La Liga championship, and then like the fact that he walked into that team and Figo switched sides because Beckham was there. He pushed himself onto free kicks over Roberto Carlos, Figo, and Zidane. He got into the team and kept other players out. Like, then when he went to centre midfield, players like Gute were dropped. He was an absolute legend. You know what I mean? Like, I know a couple of years later, your Real Madrid star, he could have been in my team as flops. Julian Faber.
I was going to ask. Well, he was going to be next. Julian Faber, success or failure?
Absolute failure.
Yeah, but he had a Lamborghini. Have you got a Lamborghini?
Yeah, a toy one.
Right. Okay. Julian Faber, right? Success or failure? Right. Jonathan Woodgate, success or failure?
I'd say success.
Steve McManaman, success or failure?
I'd say success.
Thomas Gravison, success or failure?
Absolute failure.
Yeah.
You know what? He was actually, when I was doing in my head just then, doing my Mulberry experiment, Gravison was going to be one of the players I was contemplating. So if I went for a midfielder, Gravison was going to be in it. So I was going to have.
Go back to that.
So if he had the midfielder, right, I'd have Gravison's tackling with Faubert's athleticism and
Faubert was fast.
Yeah, and Nuri Sahin's passing. That's
a shot. And what position you have in a midfielder then? Yeah, you say?
Yeah, it'd
you're building a midfielder.
That'd be a CDM. Yeah. That's not the one I'm picking, right? The one I'm having as a striker, right? I'd go with the flair of Antonio Cassano.
Yes.
I'd have the finishing of Higuain.
Good shout, the Argentinian.
With the pace and skill of Royston Drenthe.
Shit off a shovel, mate. He had the dreadlocks, didn't he? Yeah. It was again. I say it every time. He's another Tony Daly, just no end product, just as fast as you like.
How do you go from Real Madrid and in 4 years you're playing for Reading? Do you go from there to there?
Didn't he play for Sheffield Wednesday as well?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did. Do you know who he reminds me of when you Reggie Blinker? He was that same sort of player, wasn't he?
Reggie Blinker.
Same sort of player as Reggie Blinker.
I would have a look at Royston Drenthe's career now. Royston Drenthe's career. Who would you have if you had to build your Real Madrid from flops?
Oh.
Royston Drenthe is only 37.
Sign him up. He's there. He was. Yeah, go on. He was no Glenn Helder, mate. I tell you that.
I tell you who he is. He looks like fucking Mark Henry. There's Royston Drenthe now.
Wow, world's strongest man.
Yeah, that is it. Like, bloody hell. Right, let's have a look at Royston Drenthe's clubs. Who would yours be if you had to build your from Real Madrid flops? Who are you having?
I can't think of many flops. I don't follow it that well. We listed a few there, and I don't know about treading on your toes. Let's have a little think.
You got Arbeloa played there. You've got.
He had a disaster for us. He come and signed for West Ham. And he got the arsehole and he left and fucked off at half time. Went down the pub and had a beer. Or we played the second half. We had a row with the manager. No case. Go on, throw some flops at me. Who we got?
Well, you've got Arbeloa there. He's a flop. You got Gravison was a flop. Hugo Robert. You got that Della Red who played for him. He was trash. You've got Antonio Nunes. He was dog shit. You got Eden Hazard.
Yeah, but he was fat Hazard for them, wasn't he?
Yeah, so you could still take the touch.
Yeah. We'll have his techers. We'll have his technique.
Unbelievable techers.
Mate, he popped that free kick in the old Soccer Aid game. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he had a free kick, came on and we had a free kick like 23, 25 yards out. Boom, dinked it over the wall. Bit of swaz on it. Top corner. Still good, yeah. We'll have his techers. We'll have the techers of Hazard then. He had a purple spell at Chelsea, didn't he? We were talking about people's purple spell, like recreating that form.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
The conversation they had with De Bruyne, he's naturally the most gifted player he's had. Oh, that's a shout. I've just had a quick check on it. Real Madrid flops in the last 20 years. Just can't go down as a Real Madrid flop.
Oh. See, you wouldn't say so in his career, but I always think of Kaká at AC Milan more than Real Madrid. So you've got a shout. You've got a point there. Yeah.
You've got, so I name a few. You've got Hazard, Luka Jovic, who they bought for 66 million, the big target man.
Yeah, so Jovic was the one who used to play up front with Haller, wasn't it, at Dortmund? Did they get him from Dortmund?
Frankfurt.
So up Frankfurt, that's it, Frankfurt, yeah.
There's a couple on here which I'm not sure about number 6, but Walter Samuel,
the defender.
Defender was a
centre
flop.
back. Yeah.
Javier Saviola. Free transfer from Barcelona and did nothing. On the list of flops, you got Nicolas Anelka.
Oh no, come on.
Don't forget, the money they paid at the time, did he live up to that dough? And if you look at it, for how long he was there, he didn't.
Right, in which case, we're making a striker. We're having Hazard's technique, Anelka's pace, and Jovic's finishing.
Right, I've got another one for you that you've missed out on. That it's not on the list. Well, there's 2 on here that I think should easily go on the list. One of them's Adebayor. He's on that list, and one that's just popped into my head.
Go on.
Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah, hell of a goal scorer.
Then loaned him out to Real Mallorca, and then agreed a deal to sell him from Mallorca. So Mallorca bought him and instantly sold him to Barca. But at Madrid, he was a flop.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go in there. Then he's going in instead of Jovic, then, isn't he? Because Eto'o could score his arse off.
Eto'o's finishing.
And Elka's pace. Yeah, and Elka's speed.
Oh, it's a player. He's definitely up there in the Galacticos for me.
That's a tasty player. Now, to finish off, you got one player. You can sign one player on a free. Is it that fantasy striker with Hazard's techers, Anelka's pace, and Eto'o's finishing, or is it your midfielder with Cassano's flair and Gravison's? What was Gravison's?
No, Cassano's flair, Drente's pace, and Higuain's finishing.
Oh, Gravison was your other example, wasn't it?
Gravison was the midfielder,
finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough, isn't it? Out of them two,
it is difficult. I'd probably take the Hazard one because, especially if I'm thinking Liverpool, if you've got Hazard's touch, Eto'o's finishing, and Anelka's pace, you could play anywhere along the front three. Well, I think with the one I picked with the flair and the touch. Well, then again, to be fair, I'm describing a faster Firmino with that sort of flair. And if he had a bit, change the passing. Yours is a 9 that can drop deep like a 10, I think.
Yeah. The other one with the Hazard influence could play across
inside forward.
Left, right, or centre. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting.
It's a player.
Let's flip it up on its head. Right. It's gone wrong. Mate, from established Real Madrid players that weren't considered flops, make us a Mulby experiment the shittest player you can find. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you Jonathan Woodgate's debut, and you always argue it was a good debut because he got an 8 out of 10, right?
Seven.
Two own goals and a red card, like that kind of calamity. So you can take instances as opposed to attributes, right? So take 3 instances to make me like a disastrous Faubert style flop.
Done.
With people that were established and not considered flops.
I've got one.
Gordon.
I'm having Ronaldo's injury record, R9. I'm having Luka Modric's first year.
Yes.
Where it was voted worst ever Real Madrid signing. The worst ever. Imagine that.
Well, didn't get used to the pace of it, did he? Weren't up to the pace at all. Time. Yeah.
And then I'm having Robinho's attitude.
Yeah, that's not bad. Ronaldo's knees are a shot. Ronaldo's knees are a shot.
Modric's first year and Robinho's attitude. Oh, in fact, no. Oh, yeah. I was going to switch it to someone else, but no. I'm going to stick with that. I think.
Well, what's the other one? You tell us your train of thought.
I was going to. You know why? I was going to get Raul's pride, because you imagine you're having a shit year, you got bad knees, but you're prideful. You're a fucking nuisance to be around. You're just a fucking nuisance to be around.
You're just entitled.
You should be doing better. You can't walk. Yeah, but you should do better. Yeah, but you can't walk. Fuck off. Can you imagine him in the training room? Fuck me.
Mate.
Or Beckham's language.
I was going to say Beckham's media work, Beckham's interviews, or even his tackling.
Or, you know what? You could throw in Rafa Benitez's man management. Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Jesus. Jeez. What are you doing? Who are you having?
Oh, I don't know. Let's have a little think. I'm gonna go for Michael Owen's injury record.
Yeah. Well, that basically finished him, didn't it? Like his last hamstring injury there.
Yeah.
Do you know we've not put in our player? You know who's finishing? We should have had.
Oh, finishing.
Van Nistelrooy.
I forget he played for them.
Yeah, just literally then, when you said injury record, for some reason Van Nistelrooy popped in my head.
Yeah, I bet when we get off this video, there'll be loads we think of, but trying to think of it on the go is the difficult thing. So,
so you got Owen's hammies.
Who's Owen's hamstrings, but with Ramos's disciplinary record.
Yeah, so you could have gone Pepe.
Or Pepe. Yeah, or Pepe. So if he's fucking fit, he's getting sent off, and if he's not sent off, he's breaking down.
Oh, mate, yeah.
And we'll have Gareth Bale's attitude towards football.
Oh. So what? Can I swing at it? No, you have to kick it. Not interested.
Yeah, how many shots have I got to put that in the net? It's one. It's a penalty.
That's why he was good at free kicks and penalties, because he's got to get the lowest score. You think, 3 shots, 3 goals. I'm doing right. That's a murder. That's what he is.
Hole in one. He used to stand up there and just sort of wiggle and snuggle, settle into the shot before he hit. Yeah, it's interesting. I think we definitely need the perspective of a Real Madrid fan to let us know: are they being big babies like the thumbnail, or have they got a point? Have they got a case? Absolutely legendary picture. That is an absolutely legendary picture. Yeah, superb. It's even got the little soft toys at the bottom. Did you notice?
Yeah.
Look, little bricks and blocks and that. Look.
Oh, mate, it is brilliant. That is absolute class.
Any other business before we go? No,
that's good for me. Nice, cheeky little episode for everyone to keep involved. We'll keep a couple of short ones going soon enough. Get them on a regular basis.
Absolutely. As the ticker tape says, join the conversation and let us know what you think. Tell us if you know any more about the Real Madrid situation. Are they being bratty, or have they got a point? Are they being victimised and bullied? And is there a case to answer to? Let us know about your Real Madrid flops and your Real Madrid legends. What players you would fuse together to make either 3 flops into a winner or 3 winners into a flop. And basically let us know what you think. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. And until next time on
Opinions from Offside,
we'll see you soon. Keep balling.
Keep balling, baby.